This is a football podcast, man. Meat, football, good. Man, we talk football. We eat burgers.
Welcome back to Scramble Drill, the fantasy football podcast that just keeps coming back. I'm Josh. Over there's Mr. Ben Watts.
Stayed away for a while. What happened to us, Josh? What happened to us?
You know, I don't even know what happened to us. I think here's what happened. We started talking about football in the dead zone period where football is not fun anymore, and then, you know, one thing led to another.
Yeah. Been busy doing a lot of stuff in life.
Man.
But it has been...
Life has been wild.
More so for you than me.
Well, that's probably true.
Also, College Football 25 came out. That took up a lot of time.
That was a very large part of it.
That took up a lot of time. Do I want to record or do I want to win a natty? I'm winning a natty, boy.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. There were probably a couple times when it's like I could push Ben a little bit, be like, hey, let's record an episode. But then it's like, you know, at the same time, NC State is about to go for the three-peat. There's just
I've got a few 5-stars coming on a recruiting visit next week. Like I can't miss that.
Yeah. No, it's big moves happening out there in this fictional football world, and you know, I don't know what happened.
I've got my program builder up. I mean, I'm pulling in 6, 7, 5-stars a year. This train is unstoppable at this point.
Whew. That is nice. That is very nice. But yeah, we are back, and the football season is almost here. We've got some preseason games
just
in
under
the
a
books.
month from like our first full weekend of football.
That is crazy. Do you remember the first year of us doing this podcast? I think it was 2 seasons ago was our first year.
It's been 2 full seasons. It's been over 2 years, I think.
Do you remember week 1 2 years ago was the this was the season when Cooper Kupp had his absolute explosion season, the Triple Crown season, all this. He or maybe I can't remember.
I feel like it was the season after.
Was our first season his Triple Crown?
No, I don't think so.
That was the year after that.
I think it was the year after that.
I'm buried in the lead. The only thing I can remember is that week 1, game 1, Cooper Kupp went and had like 30 fantasy points because it was the Bills playing the Rams on Thursday Night Football or whatever it was. And the excitement, the aura of football returning was in full swing, and it's starting to feel like that again, but for fantasy, and it's getting exciting.
Yeah, I will say the just the dead zone of January, it took dead zone of July, took my football itch away just slightly. You know, I would go maybe a couple days without even looking at Sleeper, which is uncommon for me. Usually I'm looking at it every day, catching up with news, looking at trades, things like that. But I would go some time. Not anymore. I'm checking it when I get up in the morning. I'm checking it at lunch. I'm on it all the time. I'm ready. My football itch is back. Oh, let's go.
Yeah, it's exciting. We've got a lot to get into on this episode. This is a mock draft episode, but also there is
a catching up with news
significant. Episode. Yeah, there is so much news.
Been away for a few weeks.
Debriefing.
Got a lot of house cleaning.
Got a lot to get into. So let's hop into some news. The first bit here, this is probably a little bit of old hat now, but Hollywood Brown did injure his collarbone, break his collarbone. I
think it's the same thing Tyreek Hill had a few years ago.
Yes. I think the official injury was something like a sternoclavicular injury, which is...
That's really fun to say, sternoclavicular.
Isn't it nice?
I like that.
You ever have
word.
a dog come into the vet that has a sternoclavicular injury?
I'm not sure dogs have clavicles.
Well, I don't know. Now that you mention it, don't have a clue
I
if my
don't think
dog has
they
a
do.
clavicle or not. I probably should look that up. Do dogs have clavicles? Could not tell you.
I'll find that
Hollywood
out and
Brown
we'll
has
let you
one,
know
though.
at the end of the episode.
Yeah, Hollywood Browns is screwed up. We don't know exactly how long he's going to miss, but like you said, Tyreek Hill did have that same injury a few years ago. He missed 4 games when he had this injury. I don't know what that means for Hollywood Brown.
Hollywood's
I
a
would
little softer
assume
than Tyreek. He'll probably miss 6.
you're onto something there. You're
Shots-
onto something
shots
there. And
fired.
it's not in the middle of the season. It is preseason. I could see him missing the first couple weeks, but I don't know.
Yeah, if you're gonna have this happen, this is the best time. Like, do it preseason. Just get healthy before the season starts. That's all I care about.
Yeah. At the same time, anytime you see an injury in preseason, it's just like a really awful vibe to go into the season because you know in the back of your brain, as an astute fantasy player, which all of us are, let's be honest, we're all sharp fantasy football players here. No dummies allowed. Anytime somebody gets hurt in preseason, it just tends to be a thing that lingers. The preseason hamstring injuries. There are a few to talk about here, but
I'm getting very upset
anytime
about
you
those,
see
by
that
the way.
come up, they are the bane of our existence. They just tend to linger, and it tends to be something that is awful all year long.
I hate it. I'm sitting in my room the other night, and I like just see the injuries popping up. I'm like, no! By myself, like just saying out loud, no! Doesn't even mean anything. It's like the season hasn't started. It's just I'm already
pain.
getting that anxiety feeling. It's back. I mean, that just gut wrenching.
Yeah, get
like
ready to sign up for 19 more,
forgot about
20
that.
more weeks of this.
I forgot about that.
It
It is weird
is
how we
rage
always
inducing.
forget that feeling. We always do.
Yeah.
We get ready for football
Yeah.
season, and that first injury, you're just, oh, God.
Justin Herbert, he was walking around in a walking boot. No! Because he I don't know what the injury is. What is the
It's
official
a plantar
prognosis?
fascia injury,
Oh,
which
dear
is like a little tendon.
God. That is a
inside
lingering
your foot.
injury.
It is, from what I've heard, it is less of a like serious could miss like actual time. It's more of how much pain can he deal with. Because I've kind of had like
Yes.
some similar like plantar fascia stuff as well. Like it's not serious. You can walk on it. You can move on it. It just hurts when you do it.
Yeah, and you can't make the injury worse. Like once you hurt your plantar fascia, I mean, structurally, you're not going to make it worse by playing, but it is incredibly painful. That's not what you want in preseason. You don't want one of those lingering, painful injuries
Well, it's also
that you got
tough
to deal with all
too.
year long.
People are already concerned about Justin Herbert because he's in a brand new offense and it's a run first offense. Now he's going to miss pretty much all of training camp getting used to that offense with the new players. It's just frustrating.
Yeah, it's not great. Not a good look. Speaking of the camp hamstring injuries, Marshawn Lloyd and Jahmyr Gibbs both are dealing with hamstring injuries.
This is incredibly devastating to me. As a huge Jahmyr Gibbs believer, and also can I say, Saturday is when Marshawn Lloyd's injuries happened. I had 2 fantasy drafts on Saturday. One was the granddaddy of them all on Saturday night. The other one I had earlier in the day. And in the 3rd round, I drafted Marshawn Lloyd. And then I have Josh Jacobs in the granddaddy of them all. And was planning to draft Josh Jacobs or Marshawn Lloyd with my 2nd round pick so I could just have his backup there. And after the other draft concludes and I draft Marshawn Lloyd, and then right before the granddaddy of them all, I see Marshawn Lloyd as a hamstring injury, and it just ruined my day. Like, I just took Lloyd, and now I'm planning to draft Lloyd.
Yeah, with the last pick in the 2nd round, I also thought about taking Marshawn Lloyd. And it was it was the kind of situation where you're not getting anybody that's really going to help out your competing rosters at that point in the draft anyway. So you're really just looking at upside. Xavier Legette happened to be there, and I took him. But it might have been Lloyd if not for that hamstring injury, even though I know you would have probably taken him.
Yeah,
that
I
hamstring
actually
injury
did
not been
end
a
up
thing.
getting him. It worked out perfectly. A league member, I'm not going to say who, made incredibly questionable pick with his second-round pick.
Yeah.
So where I was sitting was like the middle of the second round. I needed a quarterback because I have Josh Allen, but my backup situation was very sketchy with Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. So I wanted another quarterback, but also like understanding like I'm trying to win. I really should just get Josh Jacobs back up in case something happens. But it worked out perfectly because of this incredibly questionable pick. Jaden Daniels fell to me there. So I'm like, okay, I'll take Jaden Daniels. It's a one-quarterback league, but rushing quarterback, give me the upside. And still was able to get Marshawn Lloyd in the third. So it all worked out.
Yeah, you'll take that. That's not half bad at the office.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, like I said earlier, these hamstring injuries, when they linger throughout the season, as they tend to do, it's not like you'll project that these players are not going to return value on their ADP, because you don't want to be the guy that's like, oh yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs, not a good pick because a lingering camp hamstring injury. But at the same time, every year, somebody deals with these lingering injuries, and it's not a killer thing, but it's just annoying enough, and you can just tell they're playing injured. Something is not quite 100% right. You can just see it on the field. It's not what you want them to be. I don't know.
I mean, heck, I even saw
it's just
something
never
about Justin Jefferson was not that his hamstring's still injured, but like he is taking it easy on the hamstring in training camp and in preseason to where like I just don't want to re-aggravate it.
right. Yeah.
And that was last year.
I don't even know how serious these I don't even know how serious these injuries are. Like Jefferson's last year was a very serious one, but I mean, these could be like grade 1 strains. I mean, it could be very minor. At the same time, I don't know. J.J. McCarthy, he apparently tore his meniscus or strained his meniscus. We're not 100% sure based on reports coming out, but he will have surgery, and surgery will determine how long he will be out. It's probably a fairly significant knee injury. I don't think this is season ending. I have not seen anything that says that, but I think you're in that like 4 to 6 week sort of range potentially, which is not ideal if you're hoping for J.J. McCarthy to be something this year.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see what his time frame is going to be because I think the Vikings were planning to roll with Sam Darnold for a little while anyway to start the season. But now they've come to the realization that they have to roll with Sam Darnold to begin the season at least. Like, Vikings fans are coming to the realization they thought it was a joke. No, Sam Darnold is your quarterback now. That is a reality right now.
Yeah, I don't know how good of a reality that is.
It's concerning.
I don't think Sam Darnold it's not great. I don't think Sam Darnold is terrible for life as a Vikings player owner, but
and
it's not great either.
Sam Darnold has gotten a lot of excuses in his career, and I don't want to keep giving them to him, but to be fair, he was at the Jets. Jets have always been a hot mess. He goes to Carolina, and people are like, Sam Darnold's going to get it. He was not good in Carolina, but it turns out the Panthers are just dog water. So maybe with a good coach and Justin Jefferson, maybe.
My consolation for Justin Jefferson, even though this is not ideal,
no, it's not,
is that Justin Jefferson was still awesome with Nick Mullins at quarterback last year.
Like,
so
when
I'm not really concerned about him.
It's the same scheme that Cooper Kupp was incredibly successful in when he had his breakout year. And so you pair that system with Justin Jefferson is getting 15 targets a game. even if they're 15 bad targets, when he catches 9 or 10, his floor is like 15 points.
Right. He's still going to be very solid. Yeah. This was an interesting little nugget. I kind of just threw it in there mostly as a joke, but Juju Smith-Schuster is going to be cut by the New England Patriots.
Juju.
I was kind of surprised to see that. And it's not that I think Juju is great or that he would have, I guess, contributed to fantasy teams this year. But I feel like he has always been solid as an NFL receiver. And to see him get cut at this point in training camp, I was a little surprised.
He's just never come anywhere close to the hype he had from that one season in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
He wasn't bad when he was with the Chiefs either. Like, he had a decent season. The Chiefs' offense was great that year
yards.
because they had, like, the one option they could depend on outside of Travis Kelce.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's just not good anymore. Maybe he's 28, 29 years old, whatever he is now, and he's just not – he doesn't have it, whatever it is.
Can I tie this back a little bit? Because I don't think we mentioned it with the Hollywood Brown injury, but with Hollywood being out, how much are we boosting Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy? Because that needs to be done.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like Rashee, at least for now, like they've said nothing about his suspension too. Like, I don't think he's going to miss any time. At least not
I'm not
this
sure
season.
He will.
Maybe next season they pop him in 3 games like they did with Kamara. But like at this point, I don't think it's going to happen.
I kind of thought he would have some sort of suspension by now, but you're right. There's nothing that's come out about it. And no news with stuff like that is probably good news. And I think that being the case, Rashee Rice probably gets the biggest bump. Xavier Worthy's always going to have those spike weeks, right? I mean, any given week, he could be a guy who gives you 30. He could be a guy who gives you like 6 or 7. I don't necessarily think he's got that safe floor that you feel great about week in and week out.
At least not his rookie
Rashee
season.
Rice, on the
Just
other
too many
hand.
questions.
Right. Rashee Rice, I think we've seen it already. He is an integral piece in that offense. Him and Travis Kelce, I think, are probably the 2 most valuable members of that receiving core. And then Brown and Worthy are kind of like the pop and sizzle that kind of allows the offense to be explosive.
We also
very, very good pop.
We
and
said
sizzle.
this when Hollywood Brown signed, so I think it kind of should go again as well. Is we thought the Hollywood Brown signing is good for Kelce and good for Rice, but now that Hollywood is out, Xavier is that same mold as Hollywood, so he just assuming he's doing well in camp and is developing, just steps into that role. So this is great for Rashee Rice.
I would think so. Yeah, I would think both of them get a little bit of a boost. The $1 million question, and it's what everybody's been trying to figure out all offseason long, is how explosive is the Chiefs' offense just across the board? And that will determine what we end up getting from these pass catchers. If it is what it has been for like the 5 previous years before last season, they're all going to be amazing. If it's more of last season, that would not be great. I don't believe it's going to be what it was last season, though.
I think you're going to see a resurgence from the Chiefs' offense, which is scary given they just won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I have a feeling Patrick Mahomes is going to be competing for an MVP once again.
Yeah. And I don't know who's standing in his way of it this year either.
I don't know, man.
I mean, the only people I can think about, like, I want to say Josh Allen, but if Josh Allen couldn't win it last year, which honest to God, I think he should have. I think Lamar should not have won that Super Bowl, won the MVP. I think it should have been Allen, but Allen's not going to be in it this year with his team and his weapons. Lamar's the only other guy, like the CJ Stroud and Lamar, maybe.
Yeah, I could see Burrow or
I don't know why I didn't think of my boy Burrow.
Burrow's probably the other one. Like
a good O-line and healthy
Burrow
weapons, Burrow
like
could do it.
Due. Yeah, Burrow feels like he's due. Okay, this is a joke. Okay, this is a joke. I'm going to preface that. But there was an ESPN reporter.
Ruins the
I think it was
punchline, Josh.
I think it was Jeremy Fowler.
Ruins the punchline.
Well, it's well, you know, we are honesty brokers here. We're not, you know,
Maybe you are.
overly reactionary. But the Chargers apparently have quote unquote major plans
Oh, thank
for
God.
Quentin Johnston this year. Major.
Well, remember when the Lions were going to use Jahmyr Gibbs in ways you don't expect? Maybe that's
yeah.
what the Chargers are going to do with
That was such a good line too. Ways you don't expect. Like, is he going to return punts? Like, what are we talking about here?
And then, like, early in the season when Gibbs wasn't getting used, the ways we don't expect are actually not at all. So maybe that's what the major plans are for Quentin Johnston.
Yeah, the major plans involve carrying significant amounts of Gatorade for the starters.
The major
on the team.
plans are for you to hand Lad McConkey his helmet.
He's an integral member of their support staff. Oh,
He's a
geez.
moral support.
Yeah, I very much wait and see. But I feel like this has been the joke all offseason with Quentin Johnston, where it's like, it feels like if there's anything there, it's probably going to happen. But I don't know if there's anything there.
Like in a one quarterback league, like the granddaddy of them all, I got asked, is Quentin Johnston droppable? And I couldn't honestly answer, like, you can keep him. Like, no, I'm not putting in a waiver claim if you drop him.
He's certainly droppable. I don't know if I would. He's certainly droppable.
I'm picking up Malachi Corley off waivers, not Quentin Johnston. Like,
yeah, give it 2 weeks. If there's nothing there after 2 weeks, he's gone. He's done. Don't worry about it.
well, what if like Herbert misses time? You can't say you can drop him in the either. Like, what? Well, Herbert's not playing.
If he does not get at least 50 yards receiving in either of the first 2 weeks, I'm done.
Drop him.
I'm done. I don't care who the quarterback is. You can get 50 yards with a bum, but if he can't get 50 yards as a starter, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm out.
It'd be like Treylon Burks all over again. Treylon Burks is on waivers in like multiple leagues.
And at least Treylon Burks showed flashes. I mean, he gave you 100 yards a couple times as a rookie.
Quentin Johnston caught a couple passes. That
One or
time.
two. One or he
And like
did
I've
his
seen the
best Kenny
flashes
Galladay
in the
impression.
in the like training camps and stuff. They're showing videos of him and like he's dropping balls there.
Yeah. Greg Roman said, "Don't put too much stock in the videos of him dropping balls." What did you say, Greg?
I saw him on the field last year, Greg.
It's nothing appears to have changed.
Yeah, like if
it's basically the same.
if he's
deal.
good when he's on the field and we're just seeing the lowlights of him dropping a pass, sure. But I've seen him on the field and it's not good.
Not great. Okay, a couple more pieces here. Rondale Moore and Chase Claypool.
No,
they're both going to miss the year.
I'm just kidding. We didn't care about Chase Claypool. I cared about Rondale Moore as a Falcons fan. I thought he was going to be a very nice tertiary, not even tertiary, but like just an extra piece of speed to the offense that we desperately needed. So it actually does sting a little bit to lose him. Not that he himself was going to have fantasy value, but he helped London Pitts and Darnell Mooney.
Right. Last thing. Well, second to last thing. We got two more things. Brandon Ayuk. It's probably been the story of the offseason.
I'm tired of it.
Is he? I'm still in.
No, I'm tired. I want something to
sitting
happen.
on the front row.
Pee or get off the pot.
I would love something to happen. Today, as of recording this, August 13th, Ian Rappaport released a video where he was talking about or saying that the Steelers and the 49ers have agreed to a trade in principle.
Yeah, but he won't.
At the same time, the 49ers offered Ayuk a final contract. So there's two ways this can go. Either he will accept the contract offer the 49ers gave him and remain a 49er, or he is going to get traded to the Steelers. But it looks like that is option A, option B for how this Brandon Ayuk scenario wraps up.
Because I was seeing the things a couple weeks ago that, like, hey, there's the 49ers worked out trades with Cleveland and the Patriots, so it's just up to Ayuk to pick which one he wants. And then that completely changed, and then he wants to stay with the 49ers so he can win. And now nothing happened there. I'm over it. I want just something to happen.
I would love
if
for
you're going to
something
stay,
happen.
stay. If you're going to go, go.
Yeah, I would love to have some clarity about this whole deal. And, like, if he goes to the Steelers, what does that mean that trade looks like? Are we talking about, like, a first-round pick and a third? Are they going to send players? Like, what are we...
And what I heard is the Steelers didn't have a shot because in both the trades they had worked out with the Patriots and Cleveland, the 49ers got a receiver back. They want a receiver back. But the only receiver they have that is any interest to them is George Pickens, and the Steelers are not going to move George Pickens.
That's what you would think. Although, I wonder, the Steelers have been maybe the best franchise at drafting and developing wide receiver talent. Do they feel like Brandon Ayuk is an upgrade over George Pickens? We'll take Ayuk, and then we'll just develop these other receivers because we're better at it than anybody else, and we'll be just fine.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And how often do you get a chance to get a guy like an Ayuk? Is he a top
Not
5
often.
receiver? No, but is he top 15? Probably.
I'll put it to you this way. A.J. Brown, before he got traded to Philadelphia and had 2 straight 1,400-yard seasons, he was probably considered to be about the talent level as Brandon Ayuk is right now. Or maybe I should rephrase this. Brandon Ayuk has produced more with the 49ers to this point in his career than A.J. Brown had to this same point in his career, hypothetically, with the Titans before he got traded.
That's fair. I do think, and correct me if I'm wrong about this, I feel like maybe A.J. Brown was more consistent early on than Ayuk. Ayuk kind of has exploded near the end of his rookie deal, whereas A.J. Brown was better earlier.
Yeah, A.J. Brown, this is why I rephrased it. I think people viewed him as a better talent. I think everybody knew, like, this is a elite wide receiver. He just was in a situation where he couldn't necessarily produce to the level that you thought that a player like that probably should. Ayuk has just had like 2 straight 1,000-yard seasons. So it's like, okay, he's clearly very good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Brandon Ayuk, if you're listening,
Last thing.
which you're not, just do something.
No, he's not.
Stop
Make a
posting
decision.
cryptic videos on Twitter.
Yeah. Jamar Chase, not practicing. Is he even in the Bengals facility right now, or is he holding in? What is he doing?
I don't know. Jamar,
He's not present.
I need you. I have been a valiant defender of the Bengals and Joe Burrow, and of you, Jamar. Do not do this to me. Get on the field and win a Super Bowl. Tired of this.
That about sums it up. Yeah.
It's a hold in. Okay,
I don't
he
think
is at
this
the
is-
facility. He's at the facility, but he's holding in.
Okay. I think this is probably a non-story. I mean, he's not going to not play. Maybe they pay
I would
him
like him getting
before the
reps,
season.
at least. He's not getting reps.
You would, but like, honestly, does it really matter?
At the same time, he sat out his junior year at LSU, gets drafted top 5, and then immediately goes for 1,400 yards with his old buddy Joe. So,
Yeah. I don't think it matters all that much. I think he'll be just fine.
good for T. Higgins, I would say. He's getting extra reps as the one. Not that, again, I don't know if it matters. Him and Joe Burrow been doing this for a while now.
I don't think that one matters either. I think nothing changes across the board. This is business as usual, even though it's not business
Maybe
as
I should be
usual.
happy about this. It means Jamar ain't out there risking injury.
That's true. You can't get injured if you don't play.
I don't know. I get injured.
You got no
Not playing.
hamstring injuries in the offseason.
But I think I'm just getting old.
Okay, before we get into this mock draft, let's talk about some of these quarterbacks. We had a bunch of them drafted in the first round.
Interesting.
I think there's just a few nuggets here that we've seen them play. Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, Michael Penix, Drake May. We've seen them.
J.J. McCarthy,
put
even
on
though
the
he got
uniform.
hurt.
Yeah, he still went, what did he have? Like 170 yards and 2 touchdowns?
Yeah.
In a preseason week
and
one?
a pick. The pick was ugly, but that was like the first thing he
Yeah,
did.
the pick was bad.
Then came back and did the rest. Got
Yeah,
that
he
out of the way.
looked halfway decent. He looked pretty decent. I think there are different, how do you want to say this? Different sections of ways we can look at this. I think you've got Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels in their little bubble where they didn't play much, but in the small sample size of playing time that they did have, they looked really, really explosive, really good. On the other hand, Drake May, kind of in his own little bubble way over here, didn't play much, didn't look awesome. Bo Nix is kind of in the middle where it's intriguing, and we still don't know a whole lot, but there's enough there that you could sort of read the tea leaves and see, oh, this could be pretty interesting. How are you feeling about all these quarterbacks with the limited work that we've seen them get so far?
I think I really loved it. It's weird because you've got to sit there and be like, yes, it is preseason, but we all understand that. Like, we know it's preseason. You can throw that in the window. This is what we got. This is the sample size that we have. This is what we saw. So let's just at least analyze it. And it's, how often do you really see it to where, honestly, I think every quarterback was as advertised. They did exactly what you expect them to do. And I feel like that is extremely rare. So, I mean, yes, keep it in the context that it's preseason, but Caleb Williams, the rocket arm, the ability to move out of the pocket, extend plays, throw with accuracy, he, like, the way he was going through his progressions while he was on the field was incredibly impressive to me. Preseason or not, like, he was as advertised. Like, that's what Caleb Williams is supposed to look like when he's playing. Same thing with Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels had a rushing touchdown. He's got a big, accurate arm throwing the ball deep. He checked into that deep pass. Did you see anything about that?
Yeah, I
Which,
did.
like,
I think it was a run play, and he checked into because he saw man
pass.
coverage
It
outside.
was a screen pass.
Okay, yeah,
And he said this play is going to be dead as soon as we snap it. Checks into the deep ball, throws it beautifully on the beautiful ball. Yeah, I mean, and it makes sense too. I mean, Jaden Daniels played a lot of college football. He's got a lot of experience under his belt, and I think he understands the game very well. So the fact that both of those guys were as advertised is really impressive. Michael Penix, big arm, threw the
Looked
ball
really
accuracy, looked really good. We know he's not going to play, but he looked very good. And if he has to play at all this season, I think he's going to be good. I mean, Bo Nix, Sean Payton wants a point guard at quarterback. He got it. Bo Nix looked really good. I think he's going to get a lot of reps in preseason because Sean Payton is not going to want to wait. He's going to want to run Bo Nix out there early. But kind of the same thing as Jaden Daniels. Bo Nix played a lot of college football, so he's got a lot of experience under his belt, so he can get up to speed faster than some of these other guys. Really, all of these quarterbacks played a lot in college. Penix played a lot. Caleb played a lot. I mean, Jaden played a lot. They all were everywhere. And even Drake May, like, I don't think we were expecting a lot out of him, you know? Like, he didn't...
I wasn't.
He wasn't amazing, but he wasn't terrible when he played. He came in, did a couple things. We really weren't expecting that much.
Yeah, and I think year one, I don't know generally. I'm not tapped in with the public in terms of how everybody views Drake May's rookie year. You obviously want to see a little bit of pop, but I think I was telling a buddy the other day, like, I think Will Levis's rookie year for Drake May, if you were to copy and paste that for Drake May for his rookie year, I think you feel totally fine about him as a player if that is what he does year one. And I think that might be all we should really expect from him. And if you get more, great. If you get less, I don't know. The jury's still out. I don't think much should be expected at all from him as a rookie. There's too many question marks. That coaching staff is a question mark. The weapons are a question mark. The offensive line probably should be pretty decent, but like there is absolutely nothing about that situation that makes me think he's going to succeed by any metric as a rookie.
Yeah. Have you been watching the Hard Knocks on the Chicago Bears training camp?
I have not.
They had Nick Saban actually in the eepisode because Nick coached Matt Eberflus at one point, and he was talking about how the expectations are insane for these rookie quarterbacks. So like tempering those, and I kind of like agree with him. Like, look at the success they've had recently. Like after what C.J. Stroud just did, like everyone's going to be expecting that. If you're not C.J. Stroud your rookie year, it's a failure. But like Peyton Manning threw 29 interceptions his rookie year, shook it off, and had one of the greatest careers of all time.
Yeah.
So nobody's willing to develop and, I guess, be patient with guys anymore. Like Josh Allen people were sure, like, is Josh Allen even going to be the long-term answer in Buffalo? But they were patient with him. They worked with him his first 2 years, and then that year 3, he exploded. Patrick Mahomes sat a year. Like, you just expect them to be great right off.
Yeah, and I think it is transitioned now to where rookie year, you don't necessarily need them to be quality NFL starters, but you need to see some of the glimpses of the upside. But Caleb Williams this year with that Bears roster, I don't know that the expectations for him there are glimpses like you would expect for a rookie. I think expectations are decent to upper level NFL starter year one.
Like, I think people are expecting
always
playoffs.
Scary. Yes. They're expecting like a 9-10 win team there.
The more I sit back
terrifying.
and think about it, I think a couple like maybe a month ago when we had recorded an episode, I actually had called you crazy. You're like, the Bears are a sneaky NFC championship team. I do not think that. I want to go open with that. But when I take a step back and look at it, they've got a really good defense. They've got a massively improved offensive line. They might have the best wide receiver trio in the league. They've got a really good running back in DeAndre Swift. Like, the only piece that's really missing is the quarterback. So if Caleb is even an average NFL starter his rookie season, they probably make the playoffs. I don't know if they make a run, but they can make it.
I can absolutely see the scenario where they make the playoffs this year. You don't want to put that on anybody, but it's right there. And that's what's scary about Caleb Williams as a rookie, because it's like if he just doesn't suck, they might be a playoff team.
Yeah. I don't think anybody expects Jaden to make the playoffs. I just expect Jaden to be great for fantasy.
Yeah, I mean, if they win 5 games, nobody's going to be surprised.
Our offensive line is bad.
It's real bad. You want to do a little mock drafting?
Sure, why not? I'm a little rusty on
Let's do it.
mock drafting.
I'm so rusty. So this is going to be a great exercise here. We're doing a 12-team, 1 quarterback PPR mock draft. Ben is drafting from the 5 spot. I'm drafting from the 10 spot. So you're going to get a couple different approaches to this thing. Let's go ahead and start this. Yes, I would love to start at sleeper.
No!
Wowza.
Why would you do this to me?
The sleeper ADP. The sleeper ADP strikes again. Jamar Chase is the 101, ladies and gentlemen, in this mock draft. Christian McCaffrey goes at 2. Tyreek Hill at 3. CeeDee Lamb at 4. Ben, you're on the clock here.
Is it crazy I don't disagree with Jamar? I mean, I think you probably have to take CMC, but with Tyreek Hill,
it's crazy.
Slightly aging. I'm not saying he's not the wide receiver 1, but he is 30. And CeeDee Lamb, I don't even know if he's in the Cowboys building right now, because he definitely wants a contract extension, and Jerry Jones is out here like saying we're not in a rush to extend him, and he's like publicly angry about that. It's slightly concerning. And Jamar Chase is going to have a healthy Bengals team for the first time like ever. So We'll see.
Yeah, it's not crazy. I think in terms of a strategy or like a roster building kind of approach,
Value
going
wise, it's a
wide
bad
receiver.
take.
It's just I don't even know if it's bad. It's just a tough approach for me to get on board with, especially when CMC is right there at 1. So anyway,
I'm sitting here at pick 5. There's 3 guys I like. There's 2 that I'm actively struggling to decide what to do. If this is full PPR, I think Amon-Ra is the answer.
yeah, that's probably where I would have gone.
I will say I was thinking about Bijan.
I would have thought about Bijan too. Brees Hall goes at 6, Justin Jefferson at 7, Bijan goes at 8, AJ Brown at 9, which puts me back on the clock.
I would take Bijan
You're at 10
every time if he's there at 8. Every time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think you feel really good about that. I've got you could go a couple different ways here. Puka Nakua's on the board. I like that. I don't necessarily love that with my first round pick, to be honest. Cooper Kupp scares me. He terrifies me.
I don't know why people aren't talking about that enough. Like, Puka is great. I'm not arguing that. I've made my adjustments in my ranking, but Puka never really had to deal with a healthy Cooper Kupp. If Cooper Kupp is healthy, like, that's maybe the best wide receiver 2 in the league. I don't even know if he's the wide receiver 2. He could be the 1.
It could be. I'm scared of the nebulous possibility of that being a thing. On the other hand, Jahmyr Gibbs is there on the board, but he just injured his hamstring. So how serious is that injury? I don't know.
You better take David Montgomery later in this draft.
Yeah. I'm going to bypass both of them because I believe Jonathan Taylor is a great pick this year in fantasy. And I like starting things off with a running back here in these early rounds.
I was looking at the decisions, and I was between him. If I were in your shoes, I would have been looking at either him or Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, that was the decision there, was trying to figure out, like, okay, you take...
Go ahead.
Well, do you take the young stud receiver, or in which case it could be either one of them, either him or Puka Nacua. But I don't know. I just like the idea of taking a running back early and then coming around and seeing what's there after the turn at receiver.
There are just so many good receivers.
Yeah, and the issue is I thought I would get one of, and this was probably naive, one of Puka, Garrett Wilson, and Marvin Harrison.
You fool.
Back to me at 2-3. And all 3 of them are gone. So Gibbs, Puka, Garrett Wilson, and Marvin Harrison go next, putting me back on the clock. And I'll pivot.
He's gonna be so good this year.
Yeah. We're gonna punt on receiver in the first couple rounds entirely. I'm gonna take Saquon there with my second pick.
I don't hate it. Okay, Drake London, Kyren Williams, Devontae Adams, Chris Olave. I was really hoping Devontae would make it back to me. He did not.
That would have been a really nice 1-2 punch there.
But he is here. He just lost target competition. I'm going to take him. You always had to spend a first-round pick on him. Now you don't. Travis Kelce at the 2-7. 2-8.
That is nice.
I'll take him off the board.
Wow. ETN, Jacobs, Derrick Henry, Josh Allen, last pick in the second round, Brandon Ayuk.
I was hoping one of those running backs would make it back.
I kind of thought one of them would. But none of them did.
All right, then. Looks like 0 RB it is.
Man. See, this is where taking the running backs in the early rounds in one quarterback can pay off. Because you could have, Isaiah Pacheco as your RB1, or you could have Jonathan Taylor.
I was hoping maybe somebody like Henry or someone would be there.
Henry would have been really interesting.
I think here is where I'm willing to do it. I'm not willing to do it in the second round, but I am willing to do it here. Jalen Hurts is there. We're like early, mid third round. I think I'm willing to pull the trigger on him here. I don't have a running back,
Interesting.
but I'm gonna go with an elite receiver, an elite tight end, and an elite quarterback.
Interesting. Okay. Isaiah Pacheco. Debo Samuel goes right after. I think we're getting a little bit of Brandon Ayuk hype in there a little bit. Patrick Mahomes and Mike Evans. I'm back on the clock. It's a good thing I took running backs early because there are none. There's nobody
This is
left
crazy.
at running back. There's a few receivers on the board. You could go Lamar here. I don't think I would take Lamar in the 4th round, to be honest with you. The dilemma for me is a DJ Moore, Jalen Waddle dilemma. Where would you go there? Because I'm not sure.
I don't like that question.
That's a tough one.
Let me just pause and double check my rankings. Let's see where I have them. I think I've got my redraft rankings. I think. Let's see, wide receiver.
I think I have
rankings.
Waddle ranked ahead of DJ Moore right now.
I think I do too, but also with the DJ Moore contract extension getting paid like a true wide receiver 1, and
That's
the fact
true.
that Caleb was
So did Jalen
Caleb
Waddle.
was that's true. Caleb was honing in on him in that preseason game.
Yeah.
DJ Moore was his go-to. I don't know. Flip a coin.
We'll go Jalen Waddle here. I think he's due for a bounce back after last season.
I think DJ Moore
Diggs,
might have a
DJ
safer
Moore
floor,
goes.
but Waddle's got the
Yeah.
ceiling.
Yeah. Rashad White, Michael Pittman. Lamar's still available. Malik Neighbors is available. Cooper Kupp. Trey McBride. I could go get my savior, Trey McBride, that I
T. McBee.
haven't seemed to get anywhere. I think I can push tight end a little bit further down the road. I think I might go the Cooper Kupp route.
I was
here in
thinking the
4th round.
same thing. I was thinking the same thing.
I would love to take Malik Neighbors. I would love to be that confident in Malik Neighbors as a player, but I don't know if I could go there over Cooper Kupp.
All right. One of the guys I was hoping to take, and I was hoping Malik might make it there, but he did not. Lamar Jackson, DK Metcalf, Malik Neighbors, Trey McBride. I'm back on the clock. Who is available to me? I'm going to do it. I'm going to tip my hand to my guy, and I'm going to take T. Higgins here.
Hey-o. I like the pick.
In the 4th round,
in the
dude?
mid-4th?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. James Cook, Zay Flowers, Devonta Smith, Alvin Kamara, Joe Mixon. Dalton Kincaid goes to the top of the 5th. I sort of hoped he would make it to me at the end of the 5th. Kind of knew he wouldn't. George Pickens, C.J. Stroud goes at the 5-4, and Ben is once again back on the clock.
Should I just spite you and take Anthony Richardson here?
That would be incredibly spiteful.
Already got Jalen Hurts, but you know what? You don't get him.
That would be very spiteful.
Let me see. I'm fully committed to the 0 RB at this point, but I think this is a decent time to take Aaron Jones. I feel like he's a very safe player this year with a very secure workload. I'll take Aaron Jones there.
Interesting. Yeah. So you take Aaron Jones. Kenneth Walker
I thought
goes
about
at the
Kenneth,
5-6. Mark
but
Andrews. That would have been an interesting one
Aaron
for me.
catches
'cause
more
I don't
passes.
know. Oh, there you go. Yeah. I think at this point, Kenneth Walker's a higher ceiling player, but yeah, Aaron Jones, he does catch passes. That's always nice. Mark Andrews, Tank Dell, Amari Cooper goes. I'm on the clock, and I can take my one true savior, Anthony Richardson, but I could also take Kyle Pitts. And
Both of those guys are the what they could be pick.
Yeah. And I think let's look at this in terms of tiers. Beyond Kyle Pitts, you've got George Kittle, Evan Ingram. I think that is
Evan Ingram's the last
the
one I feel good
entirety
about.
of the list. Yeah, it's those three.
Actually,
that's it. Anthony
Maybe Brock
Richardson,
Bowers.
you
Maybe
could
Brock
go-
Bowers later.
Maybe, but I don't know if I'm there. Anthony Richardson could win you a league. So honestly, so could Kyle Pitts. I don't know which one I value more based on who's available. Joe Burrow would still be there.
I was going to
potentially.
say, I do say, like, Burrow is there. I feel good
Kyler
about
Murray.
him as my quarterback. Kyler's there. The list of quarterbacks
take
is
Kyle
deeper
Pitts.
than the list of tight ends.
I'm going to take Kyle Pitts. We'll just see who makes it back to me. Anthony Richardson
Not
goes at the very
AR.
next pick. Amazing. George Kittle goes. David Montgomery goes. DeAndre Swift goes. I would have liked both of those running backs in the
I
sixth
was
round as well.
looking at both of them like, maybe there's an outside shot. No, did not happen.
but who do you have ranked higher right now, Joe Burrow or Kyler Murray?
I think I've got Joe higher ranked right now, but they're in the same tier to me.
We're going to go Mr. Joe Burrow here in the sixth round.
I'm so proud of you for actually drafting Joe Burrow. The
I
hater-
like Joe Burrow,
They
man.
said it wouldn't happen. The haters said
They
it wouldn't
said it
happen.
wouldn't. But what did I
Here we
say?
are.
This is a show where we are honest
We
and we
adapt.
speak the truth. The
We-
truth
we
is Joe Burrow is a
improvise, we
very
adapt.
good. We overcome. James Conner, Ramondre Stevenson go after that. Dak Prescott, and then Terry McLaurin at the 607, which puts Ben back on the clock.
There's a receiver that both of us like.
He's
Right
about
here.
to be my guy. It's
And
going to be the first
it's-
one that
yeah.
gets to him.
Yeah, and it is Christian Kirk.
Yes, sir. We're tipping our hat here to Mr. Christian Kirk.
We will be doing the My Guys episode next, so you've seen a couple of them drafted already.
You have. I can tell you right now. It's going to be the first one to get to the spreadsheet. We'll have Christian Kirk as a my guy.
Oh, shoot, I'm back on the clock. I forgot about that. Keenan Allen,
Yeah, you're back
Rasheed
on.
Rice.
Keenan Allen.
I thought about Rasheed Rice there. Roma
That would've been
Dunze,
interesting.
Jordan Addison, Brock Bowers, Chris Godwin. Brock Bowers' ADP has come up significantly. Chris Godwin,
Yep.
Tony Pollard, Hollywood Brown, bad pick now.
Yeah, I don't know about that
Let's
one.
see. I see Jaden Reed here. How do you feel about Jaden Reed?
Yep.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't think I want to invest heavily in any receiver just because I don't know which one it is. But at the same time, we're in the 7th round. So I would not say this is investing heavily to take Jaden Reed here. I don't think you're too hurt if Jaden Reed's not awesome as your 4th wide receiver.
Yeah.
He's probably a pretty good pick as your 4th wide receiver, to be honest, because I think there's a high ceiling, but I just don't know how much you can rely on him.
Am I also crazy to think about, I'm going to go ahead and take him, Zamir White here?
Dang it, Ben. That's who I was hoping would make it back to me. And of course, Jaden Reed goes one pick before I pick again. That's just fantastic.
That's just devastating news.
Golly. Xavier Worthy goes at the 7-6. Raheem Mostert, Evan Ingram, Jaden
Everyone
Reed.
you wanted.
Favorite part about this is that I took Joe Burrow a full round ago, and Kyler
Could've
Murray
taken
is
Kyler.
still on the board. I could have waited around and taken Kyler. It's brutal. I'm going
still
to
a
just
few
take
guys out.
another guy. Yeah. Oh, let's see. Okay, I think I can wait. I'm going to take Calvin Ridley here.
He wasn't who I
And
was
we're gonna
looking at, but he
cross
was
our
on
fingers.
my radar.
No!
Jonathan Brooks.
Yes!
I was
thought
holding
that he
out.
would be back after the turn.
I thought about Jonathan Brooks at the 7-5. I'm like, maybe there's an outside shot he falls. Nope.
I looked at how far down he was on the board, and I was like, surely he'll be here in 4 picks.
Nope.
Oh, Sleeper.
It is devastating.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Regroup. Where do we go?
Now you go.
I
Trey
don't
Benson.
even know what to do. What's that?
Now you go. Trey Benson.
Oh, I don't even know where he is down here.
I've
You got
already
Javonte Williams.
ID'd my next pick.
I took 2 running backs early. I'm just gonna kick this can down the road a little bit. I'm gonna take Deontay Johnson for a
That's a good
nice
option there. I like that pick. All
a
right.
safe wide receiver
The man I was looking for has fallen. We've overcorrected for him. If he doesn't hit this year, I'm out, but I'm going to take JSN. As my fourth receiver,
I thought about
don't-
him.
I don't dislike that.
Yeah, well, I would hope not because you took him.
Okay, fair point. Didn't have to be like that, but okay. And then I'm also going to take another upside shot here with TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah. That's very intriguing.
He's
Trey
probably going to
Benson
miss
goes immediately
the
after
first
that.
month, I'm guessing, which is what they're speculating.
I think he'll.
but he
Yeah,
will play.
I could see him missing 6 games.
And I've already got Travis Kelce, but somebody's going to be clamoring for a tight end when TJ Hawkinson comes off of injury.
Here in the 9th round, I am looking at upside plays exclusively at this point, and Tajay Spears is here, and I think he's got halfway decent upside, so he's the pick there in the 9th round. Another upside pick. We have talked about this. You should know this is coming at this
I
point.
know who you're taking.
Somebody here is going to be good, and I think Gus Edwards is probably not half bad.
I
in the
knew
10th
that
round.
was someone has got to get the ball. Okay, you can
Somebody's gonna do it.
It makes me so sad. It makes me so sad that Justin Herbert is on the board. I can't take him. I'm not gonna take him. It just makes me sad that he is on the board right now.
In the 10th round. Last year, he was a 5th round pick.
Yes. Oh boy, I don't like anything here, really.
No, not even your favorite son, Justin Herbert. Can't even take him here.
If I did not have a quarterback, I would be taking him. But as it sits, oh gosh,
You could take Mr. Mumbles.
Mr. Mumbles.
Yeah, you could take Xavier Legette.
I could. I'm not going to, but I could. Gosh, why I'm taking way too long on this. Upside shot, maybe Chase Brown is good in Cincinnati.
Hey, there you go. Total crapshoot upside shot, but yeah, could be something there. Jared Goff goes, Romeo Dobbs, Jaden Daniels.
You know what's crazy?
Cortland Sutton,
Trevor
Blake
Lawrence
Corum.
is still on the board.
Yeah. So is Justin Herbert. But yeah. That is wild. One quarterback is just a wild time.
So used to Dynasty Superflex these days.
I know it.
I don't like anyone.
I think there is a correct pick here with who's on the board.
Who do you think is the correct pick?
I don't really want to tell you just in case he would make it back to me.
Well, I sure don't know. Let's go with Quentin Johnston. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh. Too soon.
No, I'm taking way too long on these picks because I don't like anything I'm seeing.
I even put a timer on him and everything.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe Jonathan Brooks misses more time. Maybe Chuba Hubbard.
There you go. I would have the correct pick would have been Jerome Ford. And of course, he goes immediately.
forgot about Jerome
before I
Ford.
pick
Dang
again.
it.
That would have been the one.
How did I miss
it's like,
that?
he's probably the starter. I could see him being their guy all year long. And in the 11th round, that's very nice. And of course, I'm picking at 10, and he goes at the 11-9, which is just a
You missed
nice
on
little
Jonathan
kick
Brooks
in
and
the...
you missed Jerome Ford.
Man, the snipes here are brutal. How do you feel about Adonai Mitchell right now? He's the top guy in Sleeper's ADP.
I'll be
I
honest,
have no
there's
convictions.
other receivers I'm looking at in front of him.
Oh, yes. I just wanted to ask. I'm not going to take him. Spoiler. But I was just curious how you felt about it.
There is a receiver on here that I really like that I don't know if he'll make it back to me, but you'll see.
It took Xavier Legette. I don't know if he was the guy you were looking at.
He was not.
Oh, fair enough. Well, there is... Let's see here. I don't know. 12th round, I don't even know what on the board is even remotely interesting anymore.
I'll show
I'll
you when he
take...
gets back to me.
Oh, I know what I'm going to do. We're going to take Dontavian Wicks.
You like you some Dontavian Wicks.
I do. Just as like a very, very late round dart throw, he's very exciting to me. He also had Jordan Love's one touchdown in the preseason game.
The guy I'm looking at is Jalen Polk.
See, I'm not in on Jalen Polk at all, but
he was kind of hit or
he has
miss.
his
But
believers.
the more people I've been talking to, I'm kind of coming around on Jalen Polk.
He's interesting. I don't know how interesting, but he is interesting.
If this is best ball, I would honestly be taking Darnell Mooney.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
But it's not best ball.
No, it is not.
So let me take maybe. No, what? No, I'm gonna take Marshawn Lloyd.
See, I would have taken him had he made it back to me. I should have known better. I should have known it wasn't going to happen. On the off chance that Javonte Williams is not very good, we'll just take Julian McLaughlin here. I don't know. Last pick
Have
of
you
the
seen
draft.
all the stories where they're like,
See what you
Javonte
got.
is competing for a roster spot? And like, man, what do you
I
mean
don't
you're not
believe
going to
that.
play Javonte?
I do not believe that. He's good. I have seen him be good. I can't believe that. Hooey.
Hate to say
Let's
it,
see
I don't
the
believe
teams
in this team. I don't think they have the juice.
So this was a double flex, and I ended up with Joe Burrow at quarterback, Jonathan Taylor and Saquon Barkley in the two running back spots, Jalen Waddle, Cooper Kupp in the receiver spots, Kyle Pitts at tight end, Calvin Ridley and Deontay Johnson in the flexes, and on the bench, Tajay Spears, Gus Edwards, Xavier Legette, Dontavian Wicks, and Jaleel McLaughlin.
And I rolled in with Jalen Hurts as my quarterback, Aaron Jones, Zamir White at running back, Amon-Ra St. Brown, T. Higgins, Travis Kelce, Christian Kirk, and JSN highlight the pass catchers. And then on the bench, we got Jalen Polk, Marshawn Lloyd, Chuba Hubbard, Chase Brown, and T.J. Hawkinson.
You know, on paper, I feel like I did pretty good. Granted, we're drafting against a computer,
Yeah.
but
I feel like some of my team at first glance is kind of but I also feel like there's some. It's not as bad on second look. Like you've got a top 3 quarterback. Your running back room isn't sexy, but it'll get it done. Your receiver room can carry you with Amon-Ra and T. Higgins and Christian Kirk. Travis Kelce, we know what Travis Kelce is at this point. He can win you a league. And then the question will be for this team is JSN.
yeah. That is $1 million question because I don't even know what to tell you there.
I'm just hoping that y'all's last offensive coordinator was a complete idiot and didn't know how to use him.
I was telling you this before we hit record. I am of the opinion he is a complete idiot, but he did get another job this offseason, and it just happens to be as the offensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears.
So he's going to another team with an elite trio of receivers. Which one of those is he going to screw over?
Probably going to be either, well, it's going to be the guy who plays in the slot. So I could see Keenan Allen
Romer Keenan.
not being very good.
I hate
And
to
then the
say
funny
it, the
part-
odd man out would be Rome because he's the rookie. They just paid DJ Moore a
Yeah.
buttload of money.
Yeah. The funny part is Seattle then went and hired Washington's offensive coordinator from a year ago. And so you've got this weird flip-flop where Roma Dunze is now stuck with Seattle's coordinator from a year ago, but Ryan Grubb goes to coach the Seahawks this year, and you get this weird little, they're talking about DK Metcalf being the Roma Dunze of this year's Seattle Seahawks, whatever that means. It's weird times.
What the heck is that?
I don't know. Could be good. I don't know. Holy, that was a lot.
That was good.
It was very solid.
We're caught back up.
I'm getting into the football mood. I'm getting very excited for the season. Starting to look at Sunday Ticket. Starting to look at Red Zone.
What is Sunday
seeing
Ticket
what we're going to be
cost?
rolling with this year.
I'm very curious.
An arm and a leg and a kidney.
Well, remember they got the lawsuit that they're having to pay back all that money because they were basically
is-
price gouging people. And
It's
they were-
still. I think it was like $450 or something for the year.
That's what it was last year, and they got in trouble for that. There's no way.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it was
it's still
$200,
quite-
I would pay it.
I probably would too.
Like
I think I'll
watch
be looking
that
at Red
much
Zone, though.
football. Like I've already got Red Zone
Scott Hansen will be my companion
in my champion.
for the foreseeable future.
I can't.
Very excited about it.
I can't wait to hear Scott Hansen's voice again.
I
7
can't wait to
hours
get
of
our
commercial-free
first Octo
football.
box.
Oh man.
It's going to be very
I've
exciting.
even been watching some of the
I'm excited for
preseason.
the season. Yeah,
It's weird
getting
how
some
like I
highlights in.
usually don't care about the preseason, but the fact that you've got these rookie quarterbacks in, I'm excited about honestly all of them. It's cool for me as a Falcons fan to I know Kirk's going to be the starter, but I get to see Penix. I get to see what he can do down the road.
Yeah,
It's fun. I'm enjoying it.
it is very fun. That'll do it from us. We'll see you all very soon when we're coming in with our My Guys episode, the best episode of the season.
It's a good one.
Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you next week.